Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our little lectorium. I hope you enjoy JITEX and I hope you have some nice time today. Next 20 minutes we will have a little conversation about the most important things in cybersecurity. And this most important thing in cybersecurity came after when you fix everything, when you have cybersecurity in place, and now the time to talk about money. And I hope we will run through this theme today. And I will try to find out with yourselves how to optimize cybersecurity budget, getting even more results from cybersecurity than it used to be. And first, I'd like to understand that we can both together have a real understanding about the challenge we have. So let's say in the modern world, when we have like a financial crisis and everything like that, so the biggest challenge in cybersecurity that keep cybersecurity level on the most level we're able to achieve is a minimum amount of money we're able to spend on this. So we need to have a process. How can we optimize the cybersecurity budget without any disruption for cybersecurity protection level? And the first thing, everyone, when it starts to when it comes down to cybersecurity calculation, the cost, everyone know how to calculate the cost. It's simple, cost of labor plus cost of operations. And it's very basic, informative tool how to measure your cybersecurity costs. When you are a little bit higher maturity, you can add OPEX. So let's say you spent for infrastructure a couple of years ago and now you wait for depreciation. Those costs can also be included. And then you have shared processes. When you're gonna really advanced and mature organization, you can calculate cybersecurity cost adding shared services. Like you spend CPU time for your servers running your EDR, so then it can be calculated. Your employers participating in education sessions, this time can be included in the cybersecurity budget. So you spend the money in the cybersecurity, it's indeed, but it's only about prevention. So you may need to do more for calculate the true cybersecurity cost, and we will touch this later. So once you have a cost in place, you need to understand what's the budget for future you have. And there is kind of simple approaches everyone use. The first is to use benchmarks. So benchmark is like, okay, I will compare my budget with the budget of a different organization, the same sector, maybe like a different economies, different regions, and I will get an estimation what the right budget looks like. It's good. It's kind of very basic tool, can give you some estimation for the budget, but still, it is not perfect because different company has a different background, different context, different business perspectives, and the budget may differ wildly, and you will struggling to find out the right proportion, right budget, right the company to benchmark against. And in first place, those numbers cannot be relevant and true. So you go further and you said, okay, I will calculate my running cost year to year, and I will see the trends, how it's grow, how it's mature. Yeah, it's a nice tool, but sometimes is full of noise. Like you buying some software from abroad and you have a currency exchange rate, and the problem is the currency exchange rate may different year over year, and at the end of the day you may have a growing cybersecurity budget, but it's only reflects growing labor cost and different exchange rate. So let's say management may expect that as you grow 5%, then cybersecurity increase for 5%, which is not true. So you can use this tool. It's an informative and visually pleasant tool, but still you need to understand this is not something which is gonna clearly give you the picture how to budget, like how to elevate the budget with elevation of cybersecurity layer. Okay, you can compare your budget with the IT budget. So if IT budget growing, then your budget should grow. And the big difficulties here is to find out right ratio, because it can be 8%, like many benchmarks suggest. It can be 12, it can be 15, it can be 20, but in the end of the day, you need to find out this right ratio. And it's a difficult thing. And okay, so IT may grow, but cybersecurity environment may change as well. So just tie yourself to proportion of IT budget is maybe good approach, but still not perfect. In the end of the day, we have three different ways how to calculate the budget or how to plan budget, report about budget, but both of the ways a little limited and may not help you to optimize the budget, only help to report the budget. And once you have done with the cost and a budget and spend that money, you need to give some feedback to management. So show them what's the success, so what they get from this money. And there's three typical approaches we have. First is maturity and benchmark, which is right for very, very immature companies. But once you grow maturity is not enough for you. Sorry for this kind of nice language. Yeah, you may calculate your maturity different ways and get different results. And what's the purpose or what's the reason, what's the benefit for the business to hear that cybersecurity was 3.0%, maturity 3.0, and now 3.2? It's difficult to kind of present this result as a success. And you go further and said, okay, I will use certification and compliance way. So if I get certification, if I'm compliant, then this is success. Maybe, but still is not enough, because when you have a certification, it's just a certificate. You just make something which is kind of, you've done your math, but this may not be a right math for you. So certification may reflect that you've done something which is pleasant for certification authority, but may not be relevant for your business expectations and may not bring you success. Same for compliance. So you do compliance as a license to operate, but beyond the compliance, there is a level of security you'd like to have, and compliance will not reflect this. And for the kind of most mature organization, they use a risk management, which is kind of right tool, good tool to demonstrate a success, because you may have a quantitative risk assessment, you have a sophisticated methodology behind, you're dealing with the numbers, you have a mathematical models, but in the end of the day, what do you have? You have your kind of risk posture of today, and you compare this with the risk posture of tomorrow when you spend the money and you'd like to demonstrate the success. And this will be comparison of two different presentations. For the business, it may be good if they trust and believe you and you use a kind of right methodology and right tools. But still, it's a nice result, but whether it's mean success is a different question. So what we have here is a weak connection for the goals of cybersecurity. So let's say the way how do we measure success right now. So to sum up, if you use let's say common standard methods, we have a critical parts missed with a running cost calculation. We have a noise and volatility which affects our long-term finance planning, and we have a disconnection from results. So we have a lot of things which is kind of don't really help us to communicate with the business in terms of money. In a positive technology, we think that there is an approach how to break the seal, how to move forward, and there is three steps. First is add missing part to your running cost calculation. It's kind of very simple example on not a cybersecurity related one, but if you have a business which is kind of where you have a freight car or let's say just truck and you deliver the goods, and your business depends on whether the car is in a good condition or not. So you spend a lot of money for preventive maintenance. It means that you do the maintenance in the right time just to prevent the fail of this truck and to do the like a corrective maintenance. But what's the problem? If you do this preventive maintenance often, you spend a lot of money, you don't have any, let's say, failures, but you spend a lot of money. So let's say your value of this car will depreciate it. But if you kind of start do this less, you may have big incident with the car, let's say failure of the car, and you need to spend the money for corrective maintenance, and you will not earn the money from the truck this time. So again, the value is depreciated. And what we actually propose for the cybersecurity managers is to add this potential losses from cybersecurity non-tolerable events into your calculation of running cost. What this will give you, just for example, if you imagine, so you spend the money from the same pocket for cybersecurity licenses, services, and everything, and you will spend the money from same pocket if you need to pay the ransom. So it's good proposition for the business to spend a little bit more for cybersecurity and a little bit less for ransom. In the end of the day, when you start calculating two numbers together, you may find out that there is a sweet spot, so optimal zone, when you will increase the spending for cybersecurity, simultaneously decreasing the potential spend for your kind of incident recovery and ransom payment and, let's say, fines and prosecution. So this will help you to kind of have a chat with the business. Yes, we're increasing costs for information security, but actually we're decreasing the total cost of ownership because we're decreasing potential loss of incidents. For, let's say, proof of cyber resilience, so as I said before, there could be risk management, maturity, certification, but actually the goal of cybersecurity is to keep your company resilient. And resilience means that you're able to do your business as usual while you're under severe cyber attacks. So this is a goal, and your kind of demonstration of results should not be disconnected from this goal. So what we think is a good demonstration of cybersecurity results is participation in the bug bounty program. So actually you just give a bounty proposal for the white hat hackers. They will try to get this money out of you, and once they will able to realize, or let's say bring to you these non-tolerable events, you pay them for the knowledge how to fix this problem, and it's like beneficial for you. So basically, if you sustain with the bug bounty program for some period of time with the high stakes for the bounty, you can use this to demonstrate the business. Let's say, hey guys, we are ready to pay this amount of money, but no one able to bring this to us because our cybersecurity is good enough and we're resilient. We are on constant attack and we don't have any problems. We don't need to pay. The second thing is the red team test. So you need to kind of consider to have this frequent and a constant, or even constant, because this is again proof that you are cyber resilient. So you're able to withstand cybersecurity attack without disrupting business as usual operations. And next thing, the last thing, it's a measurement. So typically you measure your cybersecurity efficiency in different terms. So what we propose as a positive technology is to start measure time to attack and time to response. Once you do this, you need to compare these numbers, and if you see that time to attack constantly, or like most of the time, less than time to respond, so you're able to respond in a little time, an attacker needs to spend more time to attack you, then you're cyber resilient, because most of the attack you will able to detect, contain, and eradicate before they will get to your crown jewels. So instead of having certification in place or risk management in place to demonstrate that you are cyber resilient, it's better use these three tools. And we have a cybersecurity approach, which we call result-driven cybersecurity, which trying to bring everything together, solving some challenges from a business. Let's say the business understand that there is a cybersecurity dependency growing. Why? Because business try to be as much digital as it's possible. And when it's happened, so cybersecurity dependency will grow as well. And in an operational risk area, the cybersecurity source of risk will grow and grow and grow and need to have attention from a board level. So trust in cybersecurity defense, the business all the time doubts whether it's spending too much money and what's the effect. So by following this methodology, you will be able to clearly demonstrate what's the effect of the business investment. And high demand for cyber skills. In our product portfolio, we have cybersecurity autopilot automation tools. What does it mean? when you have a lack of the skills in the market, or they are very expensive, or you have a limited budget, you need to spend the budget for cybersecurity and for IT as well, you may need to have find the right balance. And cybersecurity autopilot may solve this problem. So basically, you can tell to HR director, you don't need to hire cybersecurity expert, pay them high wages. You may use cybersecurity autopilot, spending less on FTE in cybersecurity and more in IT and software development, which can good and bring a value. So basically, result-driven cybersecurity is a way how to be focused on the big things which matter for the business, how to prove cyber resilience, and how to maintain this right balance for time to attack and time to response. So this is the kind of consultancy approach we deliver to the clients. And in the end of the day, you will be kind of focused and effective. So your cybersecurity will only deal with the non-tolerable events, which is really big deals and focused on a board directors level. Effective because you're able to calculate total cost of ownership and you know how much money you spend and how much money you kind of don't spend for ransomware and all this incident recovery. It's measurable because you understand time to attack and time to response things, and you run on cyber autopilot, so you're less dependent on the skill market, and you're able to kind of spend more money for IT, which is really kind of beneficial in a digital organization. And this is more or less everything.